Welcome back to the channel for another video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more trading content like trading psychology videos, backtesting videos, trade breakdowns, and more. Be sure to also look at the link in the description for the Market Mentors Discord, where we post these trades and more analysis and more content every single day. And let's just get right into the video. Today we're just going to go break down my trades from this current trading week from March 3rd through March 7th, and we're going to look at how the week went and things I could have done differently or could have had some more potential wins with. So yeah, full transparency, I think this week was a decent week. My previous weeks were better, so this week was not the best in terms of profit or win percentage, but it was still profitable, so it's a positive to take there. But I think I took about 10 or 11 trades. It's like 5 for 10, 5 for 11, which is not the best, but it's still profitable compared to, well, at least with how the risk to reward goes and how we set our targets, it's still profitable. So not the worst week, but it could have been a little better, but it's not, at least wasn't a down week. So we can just get into that reasoning why I didn't miss the trading day of Wednesday and I didn't trade today, which is Friday, this NFP day. So I didn't trade those 2 days. So it definitely could have yielded a few more percentage with those missed days, but I'll go through that as well. So let's start with the Monday. And I'll try to brush through this. I don't want the video to be too long. I just want you guys to see the consistency which I apply to each trade and how the reason is always pretty much the same. So at Monday we're looking here, we see based on Friday of the structure, you see the sweep of liquidity here to the downside, then it pushes to the upside, breaking this swing high and these ones as well. Leaves this imbalance here, a nice gap on the 15-minute. Then it comes down. Actually, let's talk about this sell first. I'm going to talk about this big buy here, or bigger buy I should say. And then on Sunday, I look using Thursday's structure. It saw this liquidity up here, broke the swing low, and left this imbalance. And I always try to refine to the first formed imbalance, just because it's a little more accurate about where price wants to head to. And you can see that here, it's headed right to this area right above it, and then played around a little bit, then gave us a move. We'll go down and show them in 1 minute. But I just wanted to show you it's a pretty valid. I count it valid until it breaks past the high that swept the liquidity. So you see that it didn't really break past this high. It got right near it, right there, but it didn't break past it, and it gave the move. So even with this liquidity sweep here, it's still valid until it starts to break past it with full body closures above it. So let's just go to the 1 minute and go to it, to the entry. And this one was a little different for entry-wise because I took it a little early before the first macro or before even market open. I took it before 8:30. I took it here around 7:35ish. Yeah, 7:35 is when I had this entry, and I was testing this out. Actually, I can talk about this real quick. I was testing out like how I want to refine my stop losses. So I've been thinking about just going to fully aggressive stop losses, taking the stop loss with the short or the most formed high or most formed low, I should say, most formed structure. So I took 2 entries here. I took 1 entry here using covering all of these highs and having a larger stop loss range, and I put a small amount towards that trade. And then I took this one and I had a little more risk on this one, and it was a smaller stop loss here. So I took these 2 entries and I saw that this one hit, and I pretty much closed out this large one too because I pretty much got my answer. I think it's just better for me to just go for the smaller range trades because it takes less to get to take profit. Of course, it is a little riskier, but with the high not being, or only this high being covered in this trade, but it's still valid because this high is a swing high that broke the structure and led to this imbalance here for the entry. So I think I'm just going to go for the more aggressive move. I think it plays out more often than not. I've seen it play out a few times over the past few weeks and probably only lost like once or twice this way, so that's okay. So I think I'm going to go for this. So that was the first one of the week, and it happened pretty early, so it's good to start off the week with this really early win. Then next, back to the 15-minute, we see that we have another area of interest formed here with how it sweeps this liquidity here. It's a little wonky, but let's see. Little liquidity there. If you're really paying attention for this one, it happens. Little liquidity there, and then it breaks the downside, sweeps this swing low here, leaves us imbalance. So I'm looking for a price to return to that area. But I guess we got the buy move before. I took 3 trades on Monday, had 3 wins. So Monday was a really good day. And same thing, sweeps this liquidity, has a swing high, goes below it, breaks above it, leaves the imbalance. Price mitigates the imbalance and gives us the 1 minute time frame entry. Actually, I guess we had the sell first. The sell formed first. I guess it was really rapid fire. So yeah, the sell formed and mitigated up here. I think I actually refined this to the 30-minute. That's why it's looking like that. So yeah, I refined it to the 30-minute. It wicked in the 30-minute and gave the sell entry. And same concept. We saw a little accumulation here. Sweeps to the upside, breaks to the downside, leaves some imbalance, ended there. And there was another entry I probably could have took, just based on how it's shaping out. But I took it a little outside of the macros, but it's still valid to take. As we see, it did go through eventually. It was a little tougher holding this. Of course, you see all of this going on. It's, almost hit stop loss twice, kind of 3 times here, but it's okay. I talked about this trade in another breakdown for a video, I believe. So you guys can check that on the channel. And then it pushed down to another area of interest that I just mentioned, and see here, gives the same type of idea. Accumulation here, small liquidity sweep, breaks to the upside, imbalance, and then entry, hit the target. So yeah, 3 wins on Monday, really solid day. Good way to start the week out. I like starting the week out strong. I hate having to start the week out behind and getting myself in a hole, but it's okay. It was a pretty good week this week. So looking into Tuesday was an okay day as well. See this area of interest being formed here, but it pushed down. It didn't form it yet. It's just I see a lot of liquidity up here to be grabbed. And what price did do was push down into an area that's not marked up right here. But I talked about this area in my weekly trade prep video, and it's based off of the same concept of these other areas up here, right? It's based off of there's way previous time back in structure in like November 5th, I believe was the structure point or the date for it. There's a sweep of liquidity here, then a break of some type of swing structure, and it's imbalanced there. It's over there. That hasn't been filled yet, and I just marked that up based on things like the daily time frame and the 15 minutes. So I looked at that, I found that point, and then I had that marked up in the weekly trade prep video, and we saw that it reacted. It gave a reaction at this point right here. So I can go pull that up now. So I was looking for buys at that area basically since it returned to that. And it gave this reaction here. I was looking at potentially this move here, but I didn't see this as a break of the accumulation zone. It formed right under it, didn't break it. So I waited out, and I saw once that I broke it, I kind of could have just... It fits to take this trade here because it's a really cool one. It's close to the macro too. It's not as clean, but it is a valid accumulation zone. You see the manipulation here, then it breaks above, leaves some imbalance there. So it's a valid to take that. I took it. It was a valid loss. It's okay. Move on to the next trade. And this one is formed inside the macro a little cleaner with how it formed. It's valid accumulation, breaks above it. And I've set my entry here, maybe even lower, like here actually. But I have to go back and review my journal and see. But either way, I took this entry, valid entry. It was a valid loss. It got wicked out right here. So that was a valid loss too. And another lesson here, sometimes you just have to stick with your idea. You don't want to over leverage or just be too stuck in it, but sometimes you just got to stick with your bias. And I think I just stepped away from the charts at this point because I think I was just preoccupied doing something else. So I just stepped away the charts, and once it's lost, I missed this next form setup, and it formed literally right here with this accumulation here with all these inside bars. Swept the liquidity, broke through, and tagged, and barely had it. Literally no drawdown, shot up straight to take profit. So that was the winner that I was looking for. And it's okay, it happens to trading, right? But this should be the reminder and the alarm, I should say. Just take every valid trade you can. If you don't have the rules where you'd like taking a certain amount of trades in a day, which I'm probably going to get away from, you probably just want to just take every single valid trade, because this one trade, it mitigates these 2 losses, and it has more that you're getting a profit from taking this one win and still having these 2 losses. You have slight profit, but it mitigates those 2 losses. So this is the one I should have caught. And I don't think I sat it out, but I think I was busy, but I think I still just wasn't even thinking about that. It could have just wigged me out, then gave the move then, but it happened. Just a reminder, try to take every valid trade. You don't know which one's going to win. So yeah, that happened, then it finally gave the push up, I believe. I don't think it mitigated this area. Oh, it did mitigate it, but I don't think it gave us the initial reaction because I think it was near the end of the session. So what I did do following that, I saw that it gave us, or tagged this entry, didn't give it the initial reaction I wanted to because it gave all this bearish pressure, didn't give us anywhere to enter at. So what I did was I traded Asian session that night, An Asian session actually moves kind of good. I don't know why, but it does move pretty cleanly. You can get some clean trades from it, at least from the like 7 to 9 window p.m. at least I should say. And here you see that it gave us this accumulation here, same thing as the last time. It poked into the area of interest, and I looked for a continuation off of that. And you see that it gives this accumulation, this liquidity sweep up here, then it broke to the downside, left some imbalance, and I just entered there at that imbalance, and it went through. And I also left a runner because I was overall anticipating that price would push to the downside and mitigate this leftover imbalance here, but ended up not happening. And yeah, I left it running because I just wanted to mitigate that. I was a little cautious because Trump was speaking that night, and I just didn't want the markets to be a range or gonna do anything crazy. So I did set a runner. I was gonna leave it like a regular stop loss up here, but I just moved my stop loss to take profit eventually, and just tried to collect whatever I could. And so yeah, hit stop loss eventually like 11 o'clock at night. So all good there. I secured profit, and at this point I was doing pretty decent for the week because I had 4 wins and only 2 losses, so it's not too bad. Wednesday I missed. I had some conflict, so I couldn't trade on Wednesday, but I did have a potential win. That's what these purple markers are. Purples are the potential wins that I did miss. So I'm missing at least 2 wins from this week. So I could have been like 7 for 12, 7, 8 for 13, something like that. Could have been 2 or 3 wins more, so it's okay. Looking at this on Wednesday still, it's a valid area of interest I'm looking at, because looking at it here, it sweeps this liquidity. You see it goes down, it goes up and breaks the swing high, and it leaves slight imbalance. It's a little hard to see with the vertical markers there, but you move it over, you can see this imbalance there, and it comes down and mitigates it right at the like 1150 macro and gives a really clean trade. It's a little hard to see. You can see it goes and it has all these inside bars, sweeps below it, and then breaks to the upside, and then has some imbalance there and hits take profit. Almost hit stop loss, but you just hold the trade, trust it, and then yeah, it goes through. And yeah, just disregard this for now. There's something I'm testing out and back testing, and I might have to incorporate it into my trading. I'll talk about it a little more later, maybe in this video, but stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about it in more videos and test it out and let you guys know how it's going. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So that was at least the one trade that I missed on Wednesday that I kind of saw, but I just missed. Because I think I checked the charts right after it formed, and I just couldn't enter. So yeah, it's just unfortunate. I was in the middle of doing something else, so I couldn't take that trade. So one potential win that I did miss out on, but it's still a confidence boost on how solid I'm starting to see the markets with how I've refined it, and it's just very reassuring, we'll say. So yeah, on Thursday, gave some more area of interest based on that push from yesterday. See sweeps of liquidity, push the upside, and breaks all of these swing highs like over here and over here. And then we see that it came back and mitigated this area, which I believe was a 30-minute area I'd marked up and refined to. And yeah, it came to this area, and I took some buys off of it. And I probably should have just waited until at least for the 15-minute to be mitigated, because it's really not that clean on the 30-minute. It's only like this area here, but there's a pretty clean imbalance for me to wait for it to get to in the 15-minute, as opposed to just waiting to go to this mitigated area already in the 15-minute. So I think that's just something I could learn from these few trades. So we're seeing that it gave pretty unclean price action wise. It gave a few moves that just were a little wonky and tricky about which one do I want to take, because I was looking at an entry here, but it wasn't tagged all the way into over here. But with it going my aggressive stop loss and trade style, it would have been tagged, and the take profit would have been tagged up here already. So I deleted that order. And there's a few more continuations you can take up here, but I just kind of waited for it to at least mitigate this one. Then I took this trade, hoping this would be a valid continuation, but yeah, it just kind of shot straight down, and it was a valid loss, so I just moved on to the next trade. And I waited for that area, the lower area of imbalance in the 15 minutes to get mitigated. And we see that it's mitigated. It gave a little bit of a larger range move, and it ended up just being a valid loss. Sucks that it came to profit like this and then reverse, but it happens. It's okay, and that was a valid loss, so I'm not really mad at that one. I'm more skeptical that I even took this one. Like I should have just waited, but it's okay. It's still a valid loss that comes with it. So yeah, at this point, once this one lost, I was still thinking, okay, it's valid to look for buys until this swing low is being broken. So it's still just a wick down near it. It's still valid to look for buys until it's broken. So once the 9:30 candle hit, and that's why I also was a little. I thought about closing this trade out, but I don't really close my trades out early because I don't know what's going to happen next. So you just want to hold your trades, but I don't like holding through the 9:30 candle because random things happen at 9:30 when the session opens, and it just shot down, hit stop loss here, and it was pretty much responsible for why I lost that candle or why I lost that trade. But you see that something I talked about in one of my live sessions in the Market Mentors Discord and in a previous backtesting video. It might be valid that once 9:30 hits, that move that forms after it, even if it's immediately after, it might be valid to start taking that as well, because you see right here, it's responsible for forming this buy move, and it gave all this accumulation here with these inside bars, swept to the downside, broke to the upside with the distribution, left imbalance here, and then gave us an entry. And you see that it kind of went through really relatively clean. It did come down near stop loss a little bit the entry, but relatively clean move. And then it was a continuation I could have took here that I don't have marked up. So there's about 3 extra wins I probably could have had if I would have optimized a little more, but it's okay. Still a profitable week. Then on the 15-minute at this point, it was a lot of bullish pressure and started pushing to the upside. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, it's another area of interest here with it sweeping liquidity here, going to the downside, breaking these swing highs here, and then left this imbalance here that you see price just tapped into. So in the 1 minute, I just tried to look for a quick continuation move, hoping it would just wick up a little bit at least and give us an easy buy. So I took this move. It went close to take profit, at least a little over halfway, and then reversed. So that was a valid loss there. At this point, with how another confluence I'm thinking about testing out, I might be able to hedge here, and I probably should have took this sell here, but I also took another continuation buy because at this point I'm still thinking it's valid to look for buys because it just wants to push down further into the imbalance. I took another buy here, and it was a loss, so moved on from that. But looking at it, there could have been an easy sell here in this area and just push down to the downside, and I'm looking at basing that off of another confluence I'm looking at that I'm going to test out and probably make the next video about, or at least a future video about it, we'll say, because it might be able to help me with direction when I'm like hedging or comparing some things about which asset I want to trade. So yeah, be on the lookout for that, and we just saw that was a valid loss. So yeah, Thursday was a, let's say, rougher day, but you use proper risk management techniques. You don't really have to worry about those days. It's okay, it comes with it. So yeah, it was a decent week. Overall it's like 5 out of 10, 5 out of 11. So could have been a better win percentage, but it's okay. It was still a profitable week. Use proper risk management techniques and you'll be fine. So yeah, it was the worst week I've had since I've refined with how I refined over the last 2 or 3 weeks. But it's still pretty encouraging because I still could have had a few extra wins, but if I would have traded every day. And yeah, I'm still looking overall positive for the upcoming weeks because it's been a really good track record these past few weeks, percent-wise, profit-wise, winning percentage-wise as well. So yeah, it's all good. So with that, I'll wrap it up here. It was a solid week. Hopefully we'll have a better week next week with no NFP, so less news will affect everything. So yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I'll wrap it up here. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out the other content. Check out the Market Mentors Discord and the website, and I'll see you guys next time.